What is social psychology?
Social psychology is the study of how people act, think, and feel in the context of society. Social psychology is broken down in three main areas: social influence, cognition, and interaction. In this video, I will be talking about social influence and its factors.
What is social influence?
Social influence is the way in which a person's behavior can be affected by the presence of others. Conformity is when a person changes their behaviors, attitudes, and/or values due to the real or imagined group pressure. To better understand and illustrate conformity, here is a video example from the movie Dead Poets Society.
No grades at stake, gentlemen. Just take a stroll. There it is. I don't know, but I've been told doing poetry is cold. Left, 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 right, left, 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 right, left, left. Halt! Thank you, gentlemen. If you notice, everyone started off with their own stride, their own pace. Mr. Pitts, taking his time. He knew he'll get there one day. Mr. Cameron, you could see him thinking, is this right? It might be right, it might be right. I know that. Maybe not, I don't know. Mr. Overstreet, driven by a deeper force. Yes. We know that, all right. Now, I didn't bring them up here to ridicule them. I brought them up here to illustrate the point of conformity, the difficulty in maintaining your own beliefs in the face of others. Now, those of you, I see the look in your eyes like,
I would have walked differently. Well, ask yourselves why you were clapping.
and we all have a great need for acceptance. But you must trust that your beliefs are unique, your own, even though others may think them odd or unpopular, even though the herd may go, that's bad. Robert Frost said, 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference.
There are several factors that influences conformity that leads people to change their behavior in order to copy other people. First is a characteristic of the group. The more attractive the group is, the more likely people are going to conform. Then we have the status or the social rank. The lower the status of a person, the more they are likely to conform. Also, when answering a question, the person answers the question depending on the situation. For example, voting for class president. When the majority picks one person, it is more likely that the rest will vote the same person. The kind of task. For example, when students are doing a group project, conformity happens when choosing what and how they are going to begin the project. And the last one is the unanimity of the group. For example, fads, the music we listen to, and other popular things such as Pokemon Go. Compliance is obvious, direct, and explicit form of social influence. Unlike conformity, in compliance, someone is asking or directing you to change your behavior. Compliance is also being studied a lot by the consumer psychology, which studies the behavior or the habit of consumers in the marketplace. There are several compliance techniques that salespeople use and business strategy to engage people to buy their products. Some of these techniques are the foot in the door technique. In this approach, marketers start by asking for and obtaining a small commitment. Once you have already complied with the first request, you are more likely to also comply with the second larger request.
For example, your coworker asked if you could fill in for him for a day. After agreeing, he then asked if you could just continue to fill in for the rest of the week.
The next strategy is a not-so-free sample, Or the reciprocity. People are more likely to comply if they feel that the other person has already done something for them. We have been socialized to believe that if people extend a kindness to us, then we should return the favor.
For example, when you're shopping at Costco and people offers you free taste, then you feel in some way obliged to buy the product.
The third one is the door in the face technique. In this approach, marketers start by asking for a large commitment. When the other person refuses, they then make a small and more reasonable request.
For example, imagine that a business owner asks you to make a large investment in a new business opportunity. After you decline the request, the business owner asks if you could at least make a small product purchase to help him out. After refusing the first offer, you might feel compelled to comply with his second appeal.
The fourth one is the "that's not all" technique. Have you ever found yourself watching a television infomercial? Once a product has been pitched, the seller then adds an additional offer before the potential purchaser has made a decision.
But wait, there's more.
The salesperson might suggest,
If you buy a set of utensils now, we'll throw in an extra set for free.
the goal is to make the offer as appealing as possible. The last technique that I'm going to discuss is the lowball technique. This strategy involves getting a person to make a commitment and then raising the terms or stakes of that commitment.
For example, a salesperson might get you to agree to buy a particular cell phone plan at a low price before adding on a number of hidden fees that then makes the plan much more costly.
Jericho, what is obedience?
Obedience is a form of social influence where an individual acts in response to a direct order from another individual, who is usually an authority figure. It is assumed that without such an order, the person would not have acted in this way.
Hi Junius, can you tell me who is Stanley Milgram?
Hi, Stanley Milgram is an American psychologist who did an experiment regarding obedience. In his experiment, he demonstrated how far a person will go when obeying authority.
What else did he find out?
Also, in his experiments, he proves that there is a diffusion of responsibility when a person is obeying. This allowed that person to do things that he is not aware he can do. Come, let's watch the next video to better understand how lethal obedience to authority can sometimes be.
Sunday afternoon, the employee standing behind the counter at Bella Jewelers in Rogers walks away for just a minute. That's when a man walked through the door, distracting the other employees while a woman with 3 children walks up to the jewelry counter.
First, one of the young boys comes around to see if the cabinet was unlocked, and he found that it was. So they sent the youngest boy, who's smaller, to go actually around the counter and just start grabbing items.
Director of Operations at Bella Jewelers, Stephanie Martinez, says the woman even goes behind the counter showing the boy what to grab. And she even reaches over the counter, opening another cabinet.
Crouched down, so that's part of the reason why people wouldn't be able to see anything anyway. And at that time, nobody was walking in or walking out, so there was no traffic to witness.
The thieves were inside for less than 10 minutes, but Martinez says in that short amount of time, they were able to steal $30,000 worth of jewelry.
Ordinary people are likely to follow orders given by an authority figure, even to the extent of stealing jewelry from a store or killing an innocent human being. Obedience to authority is ingrained in us all from the way we are brought up. People tend to obey orders from other people if they recognize their authority as morally right and or legally based. This response to legitimate authority is learned in a variety of situations, for example, school, workplace, and within the family. Although obedience is the act in response to a direct order from a perceived figure of authority, there is also the implication that the person receiving the order is made to respond in a way that he or she would not otherwise have done.